Have you ever wanted a shirt where I'm throwing 3 blue shells at pink gold peach? Well, you can buy them today. They are on sale until August 1st, so get one while you can. Links in the description. This top 10 intro is brought to you by VectorStar Productions. So this video is only covering Mario Party 1 just to clear things up. All the minigames talked about are judged based on how much fun they are and how much substance they have as a game overall. Now, this is my personal favorite Mario Party, but there was a good amount of bad ones to pick from. Without further ado, let's go.
Number 10!
Now here's a minigame that I bet nearly everyone would have expected on this list. This game is technically split into 2 since there's 2 different tracks to play on, but they're basically the same thing, so both of them are at the number 10 spot. The goal in Slot Car Derby is to win a car race against 3 other players. This isn't like a normal racing game. It's very simplified. The only control you have is with the joystick, in which you move forward and slow down. If you go too fast, your car will spin out and you'll lose all of your speed. Since there's only 4 very short laps, spinning out just once or twice will very likely lose the race for you. I believe people tend to hate this minigame because it's so hard to control and it's very awkward in general. While I completely agree with this, after lots and lots of practice, you will get the hang of the controls, and that's why it's so high on this list. When you're moving in a certain direction, you need to be aiming the joystick slightly off to the right or left to maintain a consistent speed and avoid spinning out. However, you'll still spin out if you don't pull back at sharp turns. The simplicity has only complicated this whole minigame. Having an acceleration and brake button would have been more efficient, and the minigame would work exactly the same but with an easier grasp of the controls. But if you go too fast and don't brake, you could still spin out anyway.
Number 9!
Here we have Hammer Drop. It's one of those minigames that nobody really wins or loses. You just try to collect a bunch of coins. Well, I guess you can lose if you manage to get 0 coins. But anyway, there's a hammer bro that's hovering above everyone on a tiny platform and he throws coins, money bags, and hammers. This may sound like a fun little treat, but I have never been a fan of this one. When the hammer bro is throwing stuff, all the items go flying into the air and off the screen. Then they randomly land on the ground and bounce either off into the ocean or someone touches one of these things. While it's helpful that there's a shadow indicating where the item is, the velocity that this stuff falls from is pretty high, which makes it hard to grab anything. Maybe I'm just bad at this game, but I've played it hundreds of times and just can't seem to get the hang of it. It always seems like the computer players either jump at the right time or just in the right spot to nab the money before I even have the chance to. Even when I played with my friend years ago, he had no problem getting the coins either. Usually I would just suicide to grab a money bag and was satisfied with that, but it shouldn't have to be that way. Maybe if the hammer bro threw more money at once, it would be more fair, but that's just not the case here.
Number 8!
This minigame is called Box Mountain Mayhem, but there really isn't much mayhem going on. The goal is to break open boxes and hope that there's either coins or money bags in them. This is another one of those coin minigames. Some of the boxes will fly out into the open and splurge money everywhere. Some are completely empty. The only good thing is that you can steal money from the person that broke open a box, and that forces you to think in a slightly more complicated manner. The biggest problem is that, again, there just isn't very much substance. Now to clarify, I understand that they are mini-games, so they don't need to have a lot in them, but there's mini-games like Mushroom Mix-Up that have a lot of conflict happening. You need to not only move and jump on the correct platforms, but you also have to prevent other players from getting on that said mushroom, all while these mushrooms switch up faster and faster. Box Mountain Mayhem is just boring, and on top of that, it's way too short. There should have been more boxes to break.
Number 7!
I really love the hyperbole in this minigame's name, Coin Block Blitz. I mean, you can get a lot of coins, but what you do is so basic, and it's honestly just snoozeworthy. This is yet another coin minigame where you literally just bash blocks and get coins from it. There's 9 blocks in total, and they all have a random amount of coins. Some have just 1 coin, others may have 12. It all varies. Here's my problem with this minigame. There's not enough to do. All that happens is you break the blocks and hope you pick ones that have a lot of coins inside. You can try to steal coins from blocks that other people are going for by jumping on them, but that's just not enough. What's funny is that there's a minigame that's nearly identical to this one called Coin Block Bash. It's very similar, but to mix things up, there's a big old hammer that you can use to smash open blocks in one hit or to smash other players. This forces you to worry about 2 completely different things at once, but Coin Block Blitz is just barren. I feel like this minigame shouldn't have been included to begin with. They should have just used Coin Block Bash.
Number 6.
Now this is an interesting minigame, and what you have to do is very similar to that of Tug of War. Paddle Battle puts 4 players in a boat. One person is on the left side while the other 3 are on the right. You need to paddle the boat to the edge of the river to get a shy guy to stab the other team, and you get the opposing team coins from that. Now if you've seen my top 10 best Mario Party minigames, you may have noticed that I put Tug of War on that list because it's a fun trolley game. There's a pretty big difference between that and Paddle Battle, however. For Tug of War, the winner gets 15 coins while the loser loses 5 coins. For Paddle Battle, you don't really get anything out of it. Of all the times I've played this, the most money I've ever achieved was maybe 3 or 4 coins, and that's when I was on the team of 3. On top of that, this minigame almost always lasts longer than Tug of War, unless the teams are equal. But regardless, that's exhausting. Everyone knows that you have to mash your palm into the joystick to have any chance of winning these minigames. So playing this more than a few times does nothing more but give me spare change and a personal button on my palm. Yeah, that's what my friend and I used to call blisters. Buttons. We're idiots, you don't have to remind us, but you can if you want.
Number 5.
So this is a minigame that looks like it could have succeeded, but falls flat in execution. Tightrope Treachery is a 1 vs 3 minigame, where one person walks on a tightrope and tries to get to the end, while the other 3 players are in boats that shoot cannons to knock the character off the rope. Doesn't this sound really fun? Well, it's not. Sorry to disappoint you. See, here's the thing. Whoever is on the tightrope is basically guaranteed to win this one no matter what. Whenever you get hit by a cannon, all it really does is knock you over and stun you for a second or so. While they are only slightly pushed off to the side, it only takes a moment for the tightroper to center himself again. There's also wind that can knock the tightroper off, but I've honestly never noticed it. And to make matters worse, the boat controls are really awkward. This is a scenario similar to Slot Car Derby where you just have to get used to the controls. And I have. Even if I manage to hit the person on the tightrope over and over again, they will never fall off. It takes everyone in the boats to hit at least 2 to 4 times in a very quick amount of time. I don't even know if that works. It's almost random. The cannons needed to be much more powerful for this minigame to work. Even when you're shooting the cannons, it's incredibly difficult to aim since the perspective is so bizarre for them. There's no perception for them on where they need to shoot. You can learn to aim with practice, but it would have been nice if the screen split up so the people in the boats had a camera that was aimed up at the character instead of down. There was so much missed opportunity with this one.
Number 4.
Hey, look, another 1 vs 3 minigame. There's not very many good ones in here, but anyway, on to Piranha's Pursuit. One person is on a skateboard and they're basically being chased by a giant piranha. The guy on the skateboard simply has to mash the button to move forward and needs to jump over any obstacles like rocks or trees. As long as the skateboarder does that, he is guaranteed to win. The other 3 players are on top of a cloud and they have to ground pound it so there's more rain, and that supposedly makes the piranha plant grow faster. Yeah, that's not the problem though. What's really wrong is that the piranha plant doesn't really get faster. It's stupidly easy for the skateboarder to win. Hell, there's even been times where I can trip up one time and the piranha plant will still not catch up to me. Now of course I couldn't recapture that moment, but it has happened before, I assure you. Maybe if they added more obstacles like a bat that flies in the skateboarder's face, forcing them to duck or something like that. It should be harder for the skateboarder. To make matters worse, the players on the cloud lose coins for this. It's not their fault. There's nothing they can do. They're completely helpless.
Number 3.
Now we're getting to the games that are just flat out dumbed down and stupid. This one is called Ghost Guess, and it's a 1-player minigame. The objective is to find which ghost has the chest. They circle around you and move around and stuff. And all you have to do is basically find which boo moves first, and then you know which one has the chest in it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. Now, I can completely understand that this is a game that's intended for kids, so it's not surprising that some of the minigames are very simple to play. There wouldn't be anything wrong with that if there wasn't other minigames like Bumper Balls as an example that have a lot more substance in them. For Bumper Balls, you have to be cautious of how fast you're going, what angle you're moving at, and trying not to fall off all at once. For this one, you just do this one simple thing and you're done. The game is completed. You're winner.
Number 2.
Oh man, Piped Maze. So this is another 1 vs 3 minigame where the goal is to give yourself a nice meaty chest with 10 coins in it. There are 4 pipes that are all interconnected with one another. One player gets to choose which of the 4 pipes it goes down. This whole minigame is complete dumb luck. I mean, at the beginning of this game, it technically shows you how all the pipes are connected, but the camera moves up so quickly that no human brain can possibly memorize the pattern. I've played this game so much that I've gotten to the point where I can memorize about 80% of the patterns, but if you don't know all of it, you only have a solid 25% chance of winning the cash. I feel like the only way to win this game is to cheat. Just take out your camera, record the screen, then pause the game, run to your parents' printer, and get paper because you don't own one, and steal a pen from your dad's work desk. Sit at a table and start playing the video on your phone. Constantly pause and play the video, and draw out a diagram of the maze. After spending 3 minutes doing that, go back down to your parents' basement and use your diagram to win. That's not something that I should have to do, but at least it's something. I mean, but this next minigame. And now, the number one worst Mario Party minigame is... So if you thought Pipe Maze was stupid, Slot Machine takes the cake and smashes another one right in your face. The entire game is nothing more than pulling down a switch, which you don't even do by the way, and trying to get a match of 3. Within the matches, you can get anywhere from 1 coin to 20 coins. That's literally the entire game. What was the point of this? If I wanted to gamble, I could do that with a million other games, or hell, do it in real life and it would be more interactive than this is. This minigame is nothing more than a waste of my time. The only good thing about this one is that it ends really quickly, so you don't have to suffer through it for very long. Now, feel free to watch my top 10 of the best Mario Party minigames as well as my Let's Play of Mario Party 2. Leave a like if you want to, and tell me what you think the worst Mario Party games are and why that's so. Hop on the bandwagon and follow my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr. Thanks a bunch for watching, and I hope that you're having a nice poop on the toilet. I know that's what you're doing, but yeah, if you want to watch a few more videos, then go for it. I hope it's all coming out really well though. But maybe not, considering that McBig Mac is giving you a McTummy ache. Ugh. So, good luck with that ordeal, my friend.
So, have any of you ever heard about GamesGrabber?
Yeah, you won't shut up about them.
Well, what's it about then? I remember, there's a link in the description. And what about it? You can click on it and you can find your profile in your list of games. Yeah, the list can be used to purchase games.
So you do know.
Well, they are your only sponsor. Maybe you should switch it up and get some new ones or something. Why don't you roll the dice? It's been your turn for 3 minutes.
No, it's your turn, you dimwit!
Crap drinker,
Butt licker,
brawl player,
noob tube,
ball scratcher.